Daniel Morrison wasn't always a bitter man. Once, he was full of dreams. He had a great job as an architect in Chicago, a lovely wife named Emma, and a son, Liam, who meant the world to him. His life seemed perfect from the outside. But slowly, things began to unravel. It started with the economy crashing. Daniel lost his job and with it, his sense of identity. He tried to stay positive, but rejection after rejection made him question his worth. The savings started draining. Emma picked up shifts at a local diner, doing everything she could to keep the family afloat. But stress is a cruel visitor. It crept into their home, turning conversations into arguments. Daniel, feeling like a failure, began snapping at Emma for little things. One night, after yet another fight, she quietly packed her bags, took Liam, and moved to her sister's home. Just like that, Daniel's world shattered. He was alone, jobless, and filled with resentment. Not just at the world, but at himself. It was a gray autumn morning. Daniel sat on a worn-out park bench, coffee in hand, staring at nothing. His mind was a storm: regret, anger, shame. An older man approached and sat beside him. He looked to be in his late 60s, with a soft smile and eyes that had clearly seen more than most. "You look like someone who's lost a lot," the man said gently. Daniel didn't respond. The man waited. "Mind if I tell you a story?" Daniel shrugged. "Do whatever you want." And so, the man began. "I once had everything: a business, a wife, 3 kids, big house, fast cars, but I lost it all. Not because of bad luck, but because I didn't appreciate any of it. I always wanted more. I never said thank you, not to my family, not to life. One day they left, all of them. Took me 10 years to understand it wasn't life that betrayed me. I betrayed life by never being grateful." Daniel turned to him, surprised. The man smiled again. "Gratitude saved me, and it might save you too." Before Daniel could ask for more, the man stood up, nodded, and walked away. That night, Daniel couldn't sleep. The stranger's words echoed in his head. "I betrayed life by never being grateful." He got out of bed and stared at the old photo frame of his family. His eyes welled up. For the first time in a long time, he whispered, "Thank you for loving me, even when I didn't know how to love myself." He grabbed a pen and paper. He began writing, first to Emma. "I'm sorry for pushing you away. Thank you for staying as long as you did. You gave everything. I see that now." Then to Liam, "You were always the light of my life. I never said thank you for being my son." Then to himself, "Daniel, thank you for not giving up. Even now, you're still trying." He cried that night, not tears of regret, but of release. The next morning, he made a decision to rebuild not just his life, but his attitude. Daniel found a simple notebook and titled it My Gratitude Journal. Every day, he wrote down 3 things he was grateful for. At first, they were basic: a warm cup of coffee, a sunny morning, a roof over his head. But slowly, he started noticing more. A stranger who smiled, a friend who called his ability to still dream. He also began volunteering at a local shelter. At first, it was just to pass time, but meeting people who had less and still smiled cracked something open in him. Gratitude grew where bitterness used to live. 6 months passed. Daniel wasn't the same man. He had found a part-time job designing layouts for small businesses. He wasn't making much, but it was honest work. His mind was clearer, his heart softer. One evening, as he returned home, he found Emma standing at his doorstep, with Liam holding her hand. She looked hesitant, but there was warmth in her eyes. "I've been hearing about the work you're doing at the shelter," she said. "Liam wanted to see you." Daniel knelt down and hugged his son tightly. Emma looked around and noticed the journal on the table. She opened a random page and saw her name. She didn't speak. She just smiled. "I've changed," Daniel said quietly. I'm not perfect, but I'm grateful. I can see that, she replied. Just when things began looking up, life tested him again. Daniel was diagnosed with a minor heart condition. Nothing fatal, but it would require surgery and months of recovery. The old Daniel would have spiral, but the new Daniel responded differently. He wrote in his journal, I'm grateful we caught it early. I'm grateful for doctors. I'm grateful for the strength to endure. The surgery went well, and during recovery, Daniel began writing blogs about gratitude and healing. To his surprise, people started reading and sharing them. His words were helping others. He was helping others. Years later, Daniel stood in front of a group of young adults at a community center. He held his journal in his hand. This little book, he said, saved my life. I used to think gratitude was something you gave when things were good, but I was wrong. Gratitude is what gets you through the hard days. It's not a reaction. It's a choice. The crowd clapped. In the front row, Emma and Liam smiled proudly. Daniel continued, Life didn't become easier. I became stronger, not through force, but through thanks. Dear listener, if you've ever felt like life is against you, if you've lost people, jobs, dreams, if your heart is heavy with regret, let Daniel's story remind you. Gratitude is your way out. Gratitude doesn't change the past, but it transforms how you live today, and how you live today will shape your tomorrow. Start small. Say thank you for one thing, then another, and another. Let your heart remember, you still have something, and that something is everything.